Is my slide is visible, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes, thank you, sir. Fundamentals of statistics. First of all, what is statistics? Statistics is nothing but collecting of data, presenting of data, data analyzing, and then characteristic of data, making a decision. As per the definition, statistics is nothing but collection of data, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of numerical data. It is a crucial tool in various fields that is including economics, biology, engineering, medicine, and social science helps to make informed decisions based on data. Firstly, we have to collect the data, whatever it may be. As a statistician, we have to collect the data. What is meant by collecting the data? We have to gather the information through means such as surveys, experiments, or observational studies. Okay. First, we have collected the data. Then later on, we have to organize the data. Organization is nothing but structuring the data in a manner that makes it easier to work with, such as creating databases or using spreadsheets. Next, we have to analyze the data. Analyzing is nothing but to examine and organize the data to discoveries, patterns, or trends. After analyzing, we have to make a conclusion, making sense that of analyzing the data, understanding what the result, the content of the original question or hypothesis. Then last, after interpretation, we have to conclude that in a presentation of data. Users to display the result of the analysis in a clear and effective way by using graphs or charts and tables. Here is the example where we can use this for in medical research, marketing and sales, economics and finance, customer satisfaction in a restaurant. How in medical research helps statistician? For example,
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, your screen is on the first page only, or make it short, your screen. The slides are not, we are looking properly,
Is it fine, sir?
Minimize the screen, madam, please. Hi, it's okay, ma'am. Now, please continue. Okay. It's okay, madam. Please continue. Okay.
Yes, it is visible, sir. Fine. For example, in medical research, how statistics helps. Clinical trials, a new drug is finding, researchers used to collect the data on patients receiving the new drug before food and after food. They used to analyze the test whether it is to be effective and safe by comparing outcomes between the group. Uh, this is what the example we use the statistical tools in medical research. Same for as marketing and sales. Now is a big scenario that Geo's data packs has been increased. So, like in companies, we used to gather the data on the customer preference and satisfaction through service. The use of insights helping them to their product in the marketing strategies to better meet of the customer needs. This is what the example in marketing and sales. Economics and finance, for example, stock market analysis, analysts used to collect the data on the stock prices, trading volumes, and economic indicators. By using statistical techniques, we used to identify the trends, make forecast, and advise on investment categories. Here is the two types of statistics. One is descriptive statistics and another one is inferential statistics. Descriptive statistics involves summarizing and organizing data in a way that it provides a clear and concise overview of the main. This is help. This is mainly used to focus on the presenting the data through numerical summarizes, graphs, and tables, helping to understand and describe the data's characteristics without making inferences or predictions. Inferential statistics. Inferential statistics is used to make predictions uh, and making a decision about the population based upon a sample information. For example, if you used to know about the college facilities, whether it is good or bad, we used to take a sample. We should not we will not go through the students' data whole how the people. We will not used to collect the data of all the students. We used to take a sample. Based upon the sample, we used to estimate the college facilities. That is what we used to selecting 10 to 20 students randomly to participate in a survey about the campus facilities. Based upon the sample, we used to estimate the population. That is what inferential statistics. In descriptive statistics, it has two types, that is central tendency and dispersion. By using central tendency, we used to find the averages in three different ways, that is mean, median, and mode. By using measures of dispersion, we used to find quartile, range, variance, and standard deviation. And then we used to find the variation between the mean, that is what coefficient of variation. First, we look out of the measures of central tendency. Measures of central tendency is an average type. We used to find the averages in three different types of sets. That is what first is mean and median and mode. In the three averages, which one is best? I have to suggest like mean, because median is nothing but we have to arrange. There is the data which we use to arrange the data in ascending or descending and pick up the middle value. That is what a median. Mode is nothing but highest frequency of the values. In the particular set, which is highest frequency of the values, that is what a mode. In the mean, we used to sum up all the values and divide by the total number of values. That is what the mean. That the value which is given by the approximately. Here is a scenario. The number of workers are working in a certain factory. We have to find. Here is the example scenario that the number of workers are working in a certain factory, certain factory. They used to buy a weekly wages in rupees. We have to find the mean of the weekly wages. This is the scenario. How we have to find? Firstly, for the continuous data, we used to find the mid value of the data, and then finding the assumed mean of this data. Here the assumed mean is 475, and for the each frequency value we have to subtract this and multiplying by fi into xi. This is the column, and the formula is x bar is equal to a plus summation fi di divided by summation fi. By using this formula, we have find the weekly wages of the workers. That is what 466.25. This is the scenario how we have to find the wage averages for this scenario, for this example too. Next, the median. Median is nothing but the middle value of the average, the middle value of the data set. Median is the another name we used to say 50th percentile. If we used to arrange the data in ascending or descending, the score is to be middle or off of the score, or larger than the median and off of the scores or smaller than the median. It will not be affected by the extreme values. Here is the data, that is for the example 13579. The data is being arranged, so we have to pick the median value. That is what middle of the data set. Here the median is 5. Is the another example is 1 4, 6, 9, and 14 is the values. Here is the median is 6 because the middle value is here the 6. So the median get is 6. When we use the median, the median, when it is a large data set, we can't use this method. The median method we can't use. When it is to be smaller data, we can use median and mode. So when the distribution of the scores is to be either positive or negative, then the median value will be occurred. When larger, few when it is really smaller scores, that is to be negatively skewed. Here is the example for median. First, here is a data set that is 24, 18, 19, 42, 16, and 12. First, we have to sort out the scores that is to be arranged in the descending order and determine that middle score. Here, here is the 6 values. That is what even values. The n is 6. So we have to find the median by using the formula n plus 1 divided by 2. That is 6 plus 1 by 2, 3.5. Either third, 3.5 is nothing but average of the third and fourth scores. Average of the third and fourth score is 19 plus 18 by 2. That is 18.5. Here the median is or categorical data. Here is the example. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 11, and 12. Here the 9, the number is occurs 3 times. That is what most frequently occur. That way the mode is here is 9. In this data, the numbers which is occurred once the time, so there is no mode. When we use mode, as same as median, when it is to be smaller data, we can use median and mode. When it is to be large data, we use to be mean. So that what the mode is not very useful measure for central tendency. It is very different from each other, can have the same mode. Mode which is to be primarily used with nominally scaled data. It is the only measure of central tendency that is appropriate for nominally scaled data. Here is the relationship between mean, median, and mode. When it is to be symmetrical, the normal distribution of the curve, it is to be bell shape, and the value will be mean is equal to mean is equal to median is equal to mode. When it is positively skewed, that is what the diagram here refers, that the mean is greater than the median. When it is negatively skewed, the mean value is the smaller than the median. Variance. Variance is nothing but the measure of how spread out and dispersed a set of data points is occurred in the average value mean. It is used to find how much the data values differ from the average. For example, we used to test the student scores of 10 members. First, we have to find the average. We used to calculate the difference between the test scores and the average score. Next, we have to square the differences. Last, finding the average of this square difference. This average is said to be variance. Here, population and sample. For the population variance, we use this formula: sigma square is equal to summation xi minus mu the whole square divided by n. For the sample, we use this formula: s square is equal to summation xi minus x bar the whole square divided by n minus 1. Here, standard deviation. Standard deviation is nothing but square root of variance, and it is used to measure how spread out the values in a data set or around the mean. It is a square root of variance, and it also provides more interval measures of dispersion. Here is also same for the population and variance. We used to take the root of the variance value. Same, sigma is equal to root of summation xi minus mu the whole square divided by n, and for the sample, s is equal to root of summation xi minus x bar the whole square divided by n minus 1. Next, we used to see how to collect the data. There is two different types of. There is two methods. There is what primary data and secondary data. Before going to that, first we have to know what about population. What is meant by population and sample? Population means totality of the items under study. Sample is a subset of the population. When we used to say good sample, it is smaller than the population and it is capable of providing accurate information about the population at lower cost and lesser time. There's a two sources of data. One is primary data, another one is secondary data. Primary data is nothing but data collected for the first hand by the researcher for a specific research purpose. It is originally and has not been previously collected or published. For example, you will have an inquiry from a large number of school students by asking questions from them to collect the desired information. In secondary data, refers that already have been collected, processed, and published by others from different purpose. That is what the second-hand data. It is to be for example, we can say that the journals which we used to see by Google, that is what second-hand data, information obtained from published source such as government reports and newspaper. Here is the primary research methods. There are 5 methods. Primary research is divided into 2 types. That is what quantitative data and qualitative data. Quantitative data is nothing but numerical data that can be measured. There is 2 types: descriptive data and continuous data. Descriptive data used to say that countable data, and continuous data is just to be measurable data. For example, we used to say for continuous data is height and weight, and for the discrete data it is accountable data. We can use to say for example, the number of students. In quantitative data, here primarily we can collect the data by using the survey method, experiments, mechanical observations, simulation. In surveys, we can personally get into interview or mail or in-house self-administrated by using telephone, fax, email, web. Quantitative data, we have to focus the groups, individual depth interviews, human observation, case studies. Here is the 5 methods for the primary data. First, direct personal investigation that is what interview method. The investigator used to collect the information by the respondent directly. He approaches the objects, conduct the inquiry on the spots, collects information, does the needful. The investigator should be, by taking the survey, the investigator should be polite, unbiased, and aware of local conditions, environment, and languages. Here for the direct personal investigator, there is a merits and more about any topic. That is what open-ended or unstructured questions. There is a difference between closed-ended question and open-ended question. Closed-ended question, easier to compare responses, and there is open-ended questions, detailed and qualifies responses. Closed-ended questions, easy to interpret, but in open-ended question, difficult to interpret. Open-ended question, easy to score, and open-ended question, it is difficult to score. For example, in closed-ended question, do you smoke? Whether it is to be a statement yes or no. In open-ended question, what is your view about globalization, a layman? By using telephone interviews, the investigator asks questions over the telephone. There is 3 advantages and 2 disadvantages. One is cheaper and takes a short time, and researcher easily responded by clarifying questions. It will helpful for respondent to let them to answer question in personal interview. 2 disadvantages: visual reactions will be not there, and Population who are not having telephone connections, there may be a one lackage in that. Before going to the questionnaire, we have to trial the survey, whether the test be effective or not, whether the respondent can answer all these questions. That is what the pilot survey. Why it is important means we can easily analyze there is a shortcoming or whether there is a drawback of the questions. And it also all the possibilities questions, whether for that survey there is a possibilities of questions is there or not. We can check the clarity of instructions, performance of enumerators, and cost and time involved. The types of surveys: personal interview, telephone interview, mail survey, and internet survey, which is while collecting the data through these modes. Survey. A survey is nothing but gathering information from individuals to describe some characteristic like price, quality, usefulness, and popularity, etc. The purpose to collect the data, there is two methods in survey. That is what census survey and sample survey. Census survey is nothing but whole population. Sample survey is nothing but by subset of that population. Census or complete enumeration. Census, a survey which includes every element of the population. It covers every individual unit in the entire population. This is the example includes Census of India, which is carried out every 10 years. These surveys are carried for demographic data on birth, death, literacy. There is the advantages and disadvantages of while collecting the census data. The result will be directly the enumerators are going directly and collecting the data. Then the results will be absolutely correct, accurate, and reliable. Less data related to each element is to be collected. While in disadvantages, a lot of time and energy and money is required to collect the data suitable for certain specific cases. Large number of enumerators are required for collecting the data. These are the disadvantages. Well, in sample survey, the first step, we have to identify the population where we have to collect this data. Then select the representative sample, how much we have to collect in that. Over 50 members, we have to collect only 5 members. It's enough. That is what the sample survey. Firstly, we have to identify the population and then we have to represent the sample. Methods of sampling. Methods of sampling. Firstly, we have to see random sampling. Random sampling is nothing but equal chances to be giving all of them. There is a lottery method, table of random numbers, exit polls. Lottery method is nothing but all the items of the population assigned a distinct number, and these are written in identical piece of paper or put in poll, and that we used to select on random method. Table of random numbers is used to by arranging rows and columns which were selected in the population size. Exit polls is nothing but random sample of voters who exit from the polling booth or asked who they voted for. Non-random sampling. In random sampling, we used to give equal chances for all of them. In non-random sampling, we will not give equal chances. This may lead to be a biased data set. That is what judgment sampling, quota sampling, and convenience sampling. And by sampling and non-sampling, what are the errors may occur? Sampling errors. There will be a difference between actual value of the parameter of the population, which is not known to be estimate. It will be reduce the sampling error and increasing the size of the sample. In non-sampling errors, from recording incorrect response, either the interviewer may not give a proper answers. This may cause the bias in the result. In the secondary data is nothing but already the data has been collected. This is to be second-hand method. Census of India. Every 10 years, they used to take this. They used to take the census, and whether number of populations such as sex ratio, literacy, migration, etc., which used to interpret and analyze to understand many economic and social issues in India, according to be plans and policies ought to be formulated. In National Sample Survey, it is to be established in 1950 under the Ministry of Finance, conduct surveys and collect data on estimates of literacy, school enrollments, to publish survey through reports. By NSSO conducts continuous surveys on various problems in successive records. Next, data visualization. After we used to collect the data, we have to be presented that either to be in chart or table or graph, bar chart, heat map, whether it is histogram. Uh, we used to find the data whether there is to be a relationship between those variables. That is what a correlation. Correlation is a statistical technique used to ascertain the association between two or more variables. To study the degree of the direction of relationship, whether it's be positive correlation or negative correlation, whether there is no correlation. Studying between two variables, whether there is a relationship occurs or not. Here is the types of correlation. There is the three different types. There is positive or negative, simple, partial, multiple, linear, and non-linear. For example, the height and weight of the person, whether it is to be related or not, whether there is a relationship or not. In coffee consumption versus intelligence. Of course, there is no relationship because coffee consumption and intelligence, it is not related to one another. That is what there is no relationship. For the no relationship, this is what the example. Time spent watching TV versus exam scores. If the student has more time spent more on watching TV, then the exam scores will be less. That is the example for negative correlation. Statistics where we can use statistics mainly we can use in wide areas. That is, firstly we look on banking. And banking, how statistics will be help to risk management, customer analytics, fraud detection, marketing and sales, economic forecasting. These are the these in this statistics techniques will be help to generate a model and giving interpretation, giving a conclusion of these data sets. In commerce, it is used in business activities like production management, demand forecasting, financial analysis, costing, marketing, manpower planning, market research, and then in the commerce field, statistics in production management, how at the time of season the production management has been done, whether it is to be success or not. We have to predicting the demand forecasting, financial analysis, costing, marketing, manpower planning, and market research. Statistics mainly used in business to analyze and interpret data related to base sales and profit, customer behavior, and other factors that affect business performance. For this, we use statistical methods like regression analysis, ANOVA, hypothesis testing to identify the patterns and relationships in the data sets. Statistics mainly helps in research work to design the experiments, collect and analyzing the data and drawing conclusion based on the results. Statistics, there is a software such as R, SPSS, SAS used to automate the data analysis. Once we fit the data, then what the analysis we have to perform, the software may use to give a conclusion in that, used to automate the data analysis process and produce reports based on the results. Here, apart from I have mentioned, there is a large areas of scope of statistics in many field. Particularly, it is used to be a master key that enables us to solve the problems of mankind almost in every field. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the wonderful presentation. Now it's the time for the question answers. Now I would like to request all the participants for your queries. If you have, please come ahead and discuss with Honorable Sangeetha ma'am. Dear participants. Welcome, Swanand Shukla sir, please.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, Dr. Betkar sir, Prashant sir. Wonderful presentation you have made, madam, on statistics and especially the fundamental part you have touched. And it is really very important for research to present our research work unbiased. I think the statistics plays a wonderful role in that. And you have touched number of aspects like averages, and then you talked about sampling, and then you talked about various kinds of tests, qualitative, quantitative data. My question is, first question is, when we are using a convenience sampling, whether that convenience it is a non-probable sampling. So should we go with that means probable, or should we go with simple random sampling or stratified random sampling, something like that? That is my first question. Second question, what is the utilization of standard deviation and mean deviation in the research work? Especially I belong to medical field. So can you elaborate on this, where we can use this? Thank you.
So first question, convenience sampling. It is convenience sampling where we use means it is a non-probability sampling. By characteristic wise, it is easy to access and it is a cost-effective one, and it is also a non-random sampling. That is what. In second question, where we use standard deviation. That is what your question, right, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Standard and mean deviation. So where we can use it in a research medical research.
In medical research, standard deviation and mean deviation will be used amount of variation in the set of values. Whether we used to set whether the variation may occurs or not, you have to use that whether the variation is there or not. That then the purpose is to be used the standard deviation and mean deviation. There is a purpose.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, in convenience sampling, don't you think that there will be a little bias, and then it will have little less research value?
So can you repeat it?
In convenience sampling, there is
Yes.
a possibility of bias, and that is why it becomes little less, it has a less research value. What do you think about this?
Convenience sampling.
Convenience sampling,
Yes.
when we're doing by as per our will and wish, there will be there is a possibility of bias, and then it will have less chance, less research value. What do you think about this?
My opinion, in convenience sampling, there will be a biased one. Because for our convenient, we used to change in the data set. This is my opinion in the convenient sampling, sir.
Okay, thank you for your wonderful presentation. You try to cover lot many things, and it will take little time to grasp and assimilate. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Vidyanath Jha sir, you have raised the hand if you have any question or would like. So thank you so much, Dr. Swanand Shukla sir, for the discussion. Now I request the chief organizer of an international conference, Honorable Dr. M. Betkar sir, to conclude the session. Please, sir.
Thank you, Prashant sir. And today's resource person Sangeetha madam. We are knowing that statics is very hard to explain, but she explained the basic facts about it, how static is applicable in research, how we do the sampling, how we predict the results, and what are the applications of the statics in various fields. She is assistant professor, Department of Statics, Marudhar Kesari Jain College for Women, Vaniyambadi. So from Vaniyambadi, so many speakers have contributed to this series. So we are thankful to her and thankful to all speakers, those who are joined from this institute, Marudhar Kesari Jain College for Women. She also said that statistics can be used for detecting frauds. So this type of applications of the statistics we are knowing newly today. We are thankful to her for presenting here the research on the statistics, that is fundamentals of statistics, which are very useful to all in all fields. Thank you to you ma'am for presenting here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Thank you. Thank you to all.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Just wait, madam, for a moment.
If possible, can you make
Thank
the
you, sir.
camera on?
Now,
Yes.
now I move towards the vote of thanks. Sri Kumaraswamy Mahavidyalaya Avsa, District Latur. Today we started the session with new topic, that is fundamental of statistics, which have been presented by Honorable Ms. Sangeetha ma'am. She is from Vaniyambadi, Tamil Nadu. As our principal Sri have said that many of the contribution of the teachers have done to express the lecture in front of us. She have part. They have many lectures have part in the series, in the session. And today, Honorable Sangeetha madam came with this new topic and explained all the details, collecting the data, analyzing the data, then primary research methods and its different techniques, then methods of collecting the data, direct personal observations, different types of questions in the questionnaires, and so many points have covered in her lecture, mode of data collections, then data visualizations and applications of statistics. Means no point have left, I think, in your lecture, madam. You have really given wonderful things, the lecture in front of us. So thank you so much on behalf of the organizing committee members. You paid your valuable time here. I thank the chief organizer of the internationally conference, Honorable Dr. M M Betkar sir. I also thanks Dr. Swami Shukla sir and all many other participants who join the session regularly. Now I request you all please fill the feedback link which is given in the chat box. With the kind permission of chief organizer, I declare today's session is over. So thank you once again, Sangeetha ma'am, for your contribution to the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Betkar sir and Prashant sir, and thank you for all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Prashant sir. Thank you, Dr. Sanam Shukla sir. If he joins, then it gets completed only.
Sir, we would like to have more session on this statistics because this is one of the very important element, I think, in the research. So definitely, how to utilize it. Many things we are knowing, but how to use it and where to use it, that becomes a very crucial question at critical level. So if we can have more session with ma'am and any other authority also is wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes,
Sure, sir. Soon we'll be joined with more authors. Thank you.
Tomorrow the speaker will be talking on the smart talk because it's very hard subject. No one can dare to speak on mathematics like things. But we request most of the mathematicians. Thank you, sir, for your suggestion. Thank you.